Kyle mentioned Instagram. Do you feel that the art audience is changing and shrinking amid an ever-demanding chorus of offers online that change how we assess and experience? Here's what I mean. So Kate was in a production of Stuart Little. I've got Netflix. I could pull up Stuart Little and watch it on my Netflix. Or I could come and see a production done by the IRT, you know. Why should I come to see your production?
Yeah, we get that question a lot. You know, in the age where you don't think too much about spending $20 at the movie theater one night, but if you have to pay $20 to go see a play, you kind of go, ooh. I mean, and that's hard. And goodness knows I've certainly been there as someone who goes, yeah, I don't have $45 to spend on one ticket, let alone, you know, two, and no. But it's something that I continually hear a lot of theater artists talk about. How can we, you know, how can we get people to come to the shows that we're doing? But a lot of places are still trying to do shows for the people who have been coming, and that's great. By all means, don't, you know, don't take off your current audience if you don't have to. But at the same time, there are more stories to tell. The saying, you know, that goes around a lot in the theater community, or I don't know about other disciplines, is go where the work is. I've always hated that. And one of the things that I intentionally did was choose to stay in Indianapolis because this place needs art too. And I wanted to be a part of that. So part of my job is to also seek out other people and hear their stories in order to know what stories I need to help be telling as well. So I think it's on us as artists as much as it is on culture to kind of change with the times while also honoring tradition and where we've come from. It's a hard balance.
Well said.
Thanks. I have no idea what I just said.
It was amazing.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're recording it.
I was just gonna say, I think Alicia's generation is way more into real and true and honest, and I think way more. I think Indianapolis has changed a lot as far as people being interested in art and different kinds of things and new kinds of things. And, I do think it's like the time for new theater and new, like I think Indianapolis is perfectly ready for exciting new things in honest ways.
You think Indy, someone had mentioned to me that they feel that Indy is going through an artistic renaissance.
Totally, completely.
It's exciting.
It is, and I think viewer audience is growing. People are buying artwork, and I mean, we're living the dream. You know, it's actually in Indiana. Totally.
The crossroads of America.
But you know, we're getting to do what we love, and it's pretty awesome.
Well, I just had a conversation with an artist here in the building, John McGee, earlier today, and I was talking to him about this dilemma I have with some pieces I've been doing. They're figurative works, and I've just felt like there's something that's just not working about them, and I'm not sure why. And he asked me how I can connect what I'm doing in the studio with concerns and passions of the culture as I see it currently. And so I started telling him why I'm doing these figurative drawings, and the reason is because body language seems really important in communicating how we're feeling. And so when I think about a dance performance or any performance, the way someone carries themselves is going to speak so loudly to what they're thinking and feeling, even more than their words. And so when I'm drawing this figure in this position and this posture, it communicates certain emotions. And so I've been thinking about how I can create work that takes that power in the figure and relates it back to the culture. And so thinking about, okay, well, why is it that we're so concerned with anxiety right now in our culture? And why is maybe social anxiety one of the biggest things a lot of my friends are talking about, and something that many of us are thinking about even taking medication for? And it's just something that is currently a big thing. And so a question I have is, how can I use my work to talk about the emotions that viewers I might interact with might be feeling? And they might be different emotions than generation before, or maybe just slightly different, not that different maybe.
What was the question?
Yeah,
I really don't remember.
that's all right.
Maybe that's good.
No, it's fine. So, is the arts audience changing?
Oh, right.
And so, we have technology. It's a reality of our culture. And so, sometimes we're bombarded by online, and so the way that we assess and experience may be different from.
I think this is a particularly interesting question, especially given what all of you folks are interested in doing. There was in Indianapolis a great tradition of congregational singing, not just in churches, but there were choral societies all over the city. There was the Sänger Chor and the Männer Chor. Most of them were German in origin, but many of them were just people who would get together and sing. They sang sacred music, they sang popular music, they did all of that all the time. And it was very much a social thing. And the height of the piano manufacturing industry in this country, 70% of American homes, that's 70% of them had a piano in their house. And that means at least one person in that house knew how to play that thing. Otherwise, they couldn't justify making the payments to have it. So we come from a very musical place. And I think that it's interesting because out of all of the artistic disciplines, I think that music especially has the power to affect the human spirit. Everyone talks about how they have the soundtrack of their life and they gotta have their music. Because music can make you happy, music can make you sad. Music can actually affect your mood, which is something that, not a painting or architecture or, well, oftentimes a play can do that. But music especially, I think, is important. And when you think about how people used to gather together just to sing, to be with other people and lift their voices up together and work on this act of making something beautiful, that used to be so much more pervasive than it is now. So what you folks, you're traditionalists, you're terribly old-fashioned, but at the same time you're revolutionaries. You're part of the, showing people that this is a real and good thing. And I think that you can build the audience for this because so many people are just way too interested in listening to the radio.
Spotify.
Well, and the evil of auto-tune now, people don't even think that it's important to be able to be on pitch to be a popular singer because they have these machines.
Reach
it. Dream and change it up. I think that's horrible. Fight against this evil.
I think you need a community chorus in your life.
Oh, absolutely.
Um,
I'm not a good singer, but I used to sing in the chorus in every Gilbert and Sullivan operetta that my college put on, and that
Yep.
was a blast.
Yep.
I loved it.
What's your favorite? Pirates of Penzance?
Oh yeah, so I
HMS
got to be a
Pinafore?
policeman and a pirate.
Okay.
Yeah. Policeman Act 1, and then I switched.
Yeah, awesome.